Everyone knows Novak Djokovic for breaking records, but almost no one talks about the watch collection behind the man. So today we're counting down his top 10 watches, and by the time we get to number 1, you'll realise that this man doesn't own a single watch by accident. Now we're beginning our countdown with the AP Royal Oak Offshore Diver. In the early 2010s, as he was climbing to the top, Djokovic became an ambassador for Audemars Piguet. This is a brand that's known for its sports luxury craftsmanship and a perfect match for his aggressive yet refined game. The first watch that defined that partnership was the Royal Oak Offshore Diver. He had this watch on his wrist after securing victory at the 2011 US Open Championship. It's a bold 42mm watch with a distinctive black mega tapestry dial and serious water resistance. This is not a subtle watch, it's sporty, and it makes a statement the moment it enters a room. Kinda right for a man who was in the process of announcing himself to the world in the biggest way possible. You can get one for yourself between $26,000 and $29,000 on the market. But as Djokovic's ranking climbed, his taste started to shift, which brings us to number 9. The Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Day Date. As Djokovic's game matured, something interesting happened to his taste. The bold energy of the offshore diver gave way to something more refined. He chose the steel model of the 39mm Royal Oak Day Date. Now this is a dress watch that doesn't try too hard. It has clean lines, elegant complications, and zero aggression. At around $50,000 on the secondary market, you can add it to your watch collection. Let's just say that you earned the right to wear an understated watch when the whole world already knows who you are. Now, just when he thought he was going full dress watch mode, he pulled something unexpected from his collection. AP Royal Oak Offshore Chronograph. Now this one has a story attached to it. In 2015, when Djokovic clinched the Tennis Masters title in Shanghai, during the prize-giving ceremony, he was seen wearing a rare Audemars Piguet. It was the Royal Oak Offshore Chronograph, also called the Legacy. This is a 48mm standout piece produced in collaboration with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Only 1,500 pieces were ever made. Think about the symbolism there. A watch made in collaboration with a record-breaking icon was worn by the most dominant tennis player of the 21st century at a trophy ceremony. Meanwhile, the market price sits around $47,000, but the story behind why he wore it that day, totally priceless. If the Legacy was a power move, this next piece was a curveball. And number 7 is the AP Millenary Chronograph. Now most people who know Audemars Piguet only know the Royal Oak. If you show them the Millenary, they'll do a double take. The Audemars Piguet Millenary Chronograph 26150R carries a retail price of €43,000. It looks like nothing else in the AP catalogue. The fact that Djokovic owns this piece tells you he wasn't just wearing watches because his sponsor told him to. He was paying close attention and understood what he had on his wrist. While the Royal Oak is all straight lines and octagonal geometry, the Millenary is oval. It has an off-center dial that puts the movement on full display in a way that feels more like art than engineering. Now forget the luxury price tags for a second. Let's talk about the watch that actually keeps up with a man who lives in the sky. All the way at number 6 is the Seiko Astron GPS Solar. After wearing Audemars Piguet, Djokovic signed with Seiko in 2014. To those on the outside, it looked like a step down. Unfortunately, they completely missed the point. Seiko stated at the launch of their partnership that Djokovic would wear different watches selected for different aspects of his life. Some fans forget Djokovic's life is almost lived in transit. This guy plays tennis on every continent. He competes across a calendar that takes him to Australia, France, UK and the US, chasing Grand Slams and Masters titles. So, Seiko built him a watch specifically designed for that life. The Astron GPS Solar they created for him makes use of GPS networks and solar power to adjust itself automatically to any time zone on Earth. Released in several Djokovic-branded limited editions, this watch captures his precision, endurance and attention to detail. It comes with a brown dial, a crocodile leather strap and a black ceramic bezel. Each watch bears a unique serial number. In fact, Novak's signature is limited to just 3,000 pieces at a market price of around $1,095. This is the most affordable watch in the entire collection, and yet in terms of usefulness to his actual lifestyle, it might be the most valuable. Now the Seiko chapter is finished, and Djokovic walks into a completely new room. But before we move on, if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit the like button and subscribe. It only gets better from here. At number 5, we have the Hublot Classic Fusion Black Magic. By 2021, Novak Djokovic had signed with Hublot, and this was his debut piece. His Hublot choices became part of his post-match presence, pairing beautifully with his grass court victories. The classic Fusion Black Magic sells for around $9,400. It's exactly what it sounds like. All black ceramic case, slim, modern, and almost architectural in how clean it looks. It doesn't shout at you, it just sits on your wrist with the authority of something that knows exactly what it is. For a man stepping into a new watch partnership at what was already the peak of his career, this was a strong opening statement. Clean lines, unmistakable elegance, and a price point that made clear Djokovic had graduated to an entirely different level of horology. But this was just the opening act. For the grass courts, he brought something with a little more fire. Making it to number 4 is the Hublot Big Bang Blue Ceramic. Now, some people show up to Wimbledon with a game plan. Djokovic showed up with a game plan and a $24,100 blue ceramic Hublot that made everyone in the room look twice. What makes this piece stand out is that it has a manual wind movement with a 10-day power reserve, which is practically unheard of at this size and price range. You can see the movement doing its work through the open dial. The whole thing looks like it was designed by an engineer who also happened to be an artist. Djokovic has always understood that sport and style aren't opposites, but the same conversation, and this watch proves it. Okay, the blue ceramic made a statement, but for the greatest season of his career, he needed a colour no one had seen before. Climbing up to number 3 is the Big Bang Integral Green Ceramic. The year 2023 might have been the greatest season in the history of men's tennis. Djokovic won 3 Grand Slam titles that year and broke the record for career men's single majors. This was a record that had stood for a decade. After winning Wimbledon, he put on the Big Bang Integral Green Ceramic. What you're looking at here has a full integrated bracelet, solid ceramic case, and that deep forest green that catches light in a way that black and blue simply cannot replicate. It retails at around $32,000, and it still costs more than most people's first car. That's what winning at the highest level looks like when you've been doing it long enough to make it look effortless. The green watch marked a record-breaking year, and to celebrate it, Hublot did something no brand had ever done before. At our runner-up position is the Big Bang Unico Novak Djokovic Limited Edition. When Hublot partnered with Novak Djokovic, it was a huge moment for the brand, so they made a special limited edition watch called the Big Bang Unico Novak Djokovic. To show off their skill with unique materials, they created just 100 of these watches. The watch cases were made by recycling 25 tennis rackets and 32 polo shirts that Djokovic actually used in the 2023 season. It's priced at $52,700, and it is, as Djokovic confirmed himself, lighter than a tennis ball, making the chronograph movement from aluminum cut the weight by nearly a third. Even the glass used is twice as light as the sapphire crystal found in most luxury watches. That's why Djokovic described this watch as a symbol of every game. If you want to get one, you're not just buying a timepiece, but the physical remains of one of the most dominant seasons in tennis history. To crown it all, we have a watch made as a tribute to Djokovic at our number 1 spot. The Big Bang Tourbillon Novak Djokovic GOAT Edition. Hublot has taken things even further with the GOAT Edition. This isn't just a watch, it's made from the actual gear Djokovic used on his way to the top. Hublot took his recycled Lacoste polo shirts and head tennis rackets and turned them into a colourful material for the case. It comes in 3 colours, blue, orange or green, one for each type of court he's conquered. Interestingly, the production numbers are actually tied to his career. There are 72 in blue, 21 in orange, and only 8 in green, to match his win counts on those surfaces at the time of release. Inside, the watch uses a super strong material called Titaplast to make sure it can handle the stress of a professional tennis match. It's light, incredibly tough, and costs $121,000. Djokovic was seen wearing the blue edition during the 2026 Australian Open. Now, you see that not a single watch in his collection is there by accident. So, which of these watches is your favourite? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to see the watches that are taking over NFL locker rooms, check out the video on your screen right now. See you in the next one.